Jai Swaminarayan. Dear students, have you ever thought, why don't we thrive in our life despite having abundant resources? We are living in the world where technology, information, ideas, resources are right at our fingertips. Then why don't we thrive in our life? Why don't we achieve the massive success? Why don't we live a legendary life? What is holding us back? What is stopping us to take massive action? I don't think it is a lack of resources. It is a lack of support. It is a lack of even ideas. Ideas are everywhere. We can explore new ideas right at our fingertips. Then why we are not achieving the massive success in our life? What is holding us back? My dear students, what is holding us back is our imaginary fears, our assumptions, our stories that constantly we keep telling to ourselves that you can't do this, people will not like that, people will reject it. These imaginary fears are stopping us, are holding us back and not allowing us to take massive action to achieve massive success. Actually, we all have potential to do great things in our life. But because of imaginary fears and baseless stories and assumptions, we are unable to take powerful, massive actions. I know many of you are having dreams to start a startup, to bring the massive change in the society, in the world. But you don't take initiative. Do you know why? Nobody is stopping you except you and your stories. You think that, what if this startup fails? What if I lose money? What if people don't like my ideas? What if I'm unable to deliver the committed services? Your stories, your imaginary fears and assumptions are stopping you to achieve massive success in your life. Now you must remember 3 facts about fear. Number 1, 95% of fear are just imaginary fears. Number 2, fear is just an illusion, not a reality. It's like you have seen a rope in the darkness and you are imagining that it's a snake. But the moment you come to know that it's just a rope, your fear will go away. Your effect of the fear also will go away. Fear is just an illusion, not a reality. Number 3, fear is a misuse of our imagination. Imagination can be utilized for success as well as failure. If you keep imagining success, positive results, that imagination will lead you towards success. But same imagination, if you utilize to imagine the negativity, failures, setbacks, it will definitely lead you towards failure. So you must realize that fear are mostly imaginary. Fear are just illusion, and fear is a misuse of imagination. If you realize these 3 facts about fear, you can come out from the effects of the fear. So what are these imaginary fears? Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of public speaking, fear of judgment, fear of criticism, fear of looking bad, fear of being alone, fear of looking stupid, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being judged. These are the fears we create in our minds, but they have no real basis in reality. They prevent us from taking action in our careers, our relationship, and our personal growth. Now let us know what are those 5% fears that are realistic fears. Fear of death, fear of illness, fear of snake, fear of water, fear of height, fear of natural disaster, fear of accident, fear of dangerous animals, fear of war, fear of crime. These fears are based on real, tangible threats. They have realistic consequences, unlike the imaginary fears that only exist in our minds. Now the main question is how to kill imaginary fear from our mind. Number 1, challenge your fear. Whenever the fear arises in your mind about your career or about any relationship, ask this question to yourself. Is this fear real or imaginary? Is this fear based on fact or based on your assumption? Is there any evidence that supports this fear? Is there any evidence that supports the reality of this fear? The more you question your fear, the more your fear becomes weaker. Number 2, calculate the consequences. When you get fear, ask this question to yourself that what worst can happen. Suppose if you take action in your career or in your relationship, just imagine what worst can happen. Make a list of it. You want to share idea to other people, you want to say something good to others, but you are feeling hesitation, feeling fear, then think about it, what worst can happen. You have to consider the worst case scenario. When you consider the worst case scenario, your fear will almost go. My dear students, I can guarantee you that if you follow this exercise, when you calculate the consequences and consider the worst case scenario, you will find that the consequences are not as terrifying as you have imagined. Number 3, change your imagination pattern. Mostly we are habituated to imagine negative outcomes, failures. But now onwards you have to train your mind to imagine positive outcomes, imagine the success. Remember, imagination is a powerful magnet. When you imagine something positive, you are attracting the positive outcomes. When you are imagining something negative, you are attracting the negative outcomes. What to attract ultimately depends on your imagination. So utilize your imagination as a powerful source and force for your success, not as a source of your fear. When you take action, imagine success, not failure. So now onwards, stop creating the fearing images in your mind. Stop creating the frightening stories in your mind and start creating the positive, powerful, and successful images in your mind. When you practice this imagination every day, you will see the massive result in your action and in your personal growth. So my dear students, if you want to kill these imaginary fears, then you must follow these 3 powerful practices, 3 solutions. Definitely you will become unstoppable and fearless to achieve massive success. And don't forget, the thing standing between you and your success is nothing else than your imaginary fears and your stories. Change your stories and you will change your life. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.